got January coming up here. Yeah, we're going to show you everything by the year-end review, 2018. And look out there, it was a cold January, real cold January. And a couple nights there, the deer were so cold, that's where my septic tank is. And that's where the deer laid for 2 nights. And it was, like I said, it was very cold January. That's where we stand in January. It was, we had a little bit of snow, but we didn't have a lot of snow. There wasn't a lot of snow out there. Very cold. And I was walking around out there. I think at that time it was like, I think I came up there -2. It was cold in the house. It took forever to warm up the house. It was just unbearably cold. So I was kind of walking around. I mean, it was just as warm inside the house as it was outside the house. If you take a look over as you walk over that way, as the years go by, or this past year went by, you can see the trees are still there. Well, all the trees, as you look at the next videos coming up through the year, you'll see that those trees are all gone now. Cut all these trees around, and all these trees are out of that area. That's how got it ready for the high tunnel, I should say. That's what you look back there, all that's been cut up. So, yep, that's pretty much what went on for January. It was, all I can say, it was cold. It was a cold January. And now we're coming up on February. We got approved for the high tunnel, and they gave us the money that we needed. And so we were all excited about that. Plus, we got a lot of snow here in February. It's just, it was a cold February. We finally saw the plan. There's the plans, the 30 by 96 high tunnel that we got, and we were approved for it. We were very, very happy about it. We weren't sure whether they were going to give us anything. And they sent us an email and told us we were approved. So there on in, that kind of got everything, the ball rolling for Heaven's Gates Cherry Farm, because we weren't really sure what we were going to do. We wanted to put them under high tunnels because they were telling us they make better fruit and everything, but we didn't know. So what we did was, once they approved it, they sent the ball rolling. It was. That's what goes on in February. When we come up to March, it'll be, of course, Joyce made hats and everything, and she, because it was cold, I told her, could she make me some hats, mittens, and she did. It was great. So, and then in March, believe it or not, I was hoping for spring because we got the approval for the high tunnel, and we didn't get spring. What we got was snow. So, you know, here's a video of me playing with my drone for the first time, and showing you guys the land up north from this upper atmosphere, if you want to call it. And I did a pretty good job. That was my first time out, and it shows all the property. And I was hoping for this snow to go, and it just wouldn't go. It just kept snowing. But if you look, that's looking back behind the house, and cherry trees are to the east there, or to the left of you. And if you look back there, that area there is where we cleared it all out. We own clear back to the swamp. And then more to the right of you, we own a total of 5 acres here. And that's not all there's there. That's just looking around the upper atmosphere from the drone, showing you that we have a lot of national forest all the way around us. There's the trees, and there's how they lay out from the sky. And then, like I say, in a minute here it'll turn, and when it turns back, you'll get to see all the places that we cleared out. That section right there is all the stuff that Joyce and I cleared out this fall, getting ready for the apples and nectarines. It was a lot of work, but we did it. We had a guy come in and he did a lot of cut, and I had already had stuff cut. But we cleared that all out of there in about 5 days, and you'll get to see that down the road here. So, but yes, that's our property. There's 5 acres here. Like I said, on the north and east side of us, we have 300 to 400,000 acres of national forest. So, and what you're looking at right there is me trying to figure out where I'm going to put my sign. I decided I wanted to put a sign out to the road, and to me that would make it official that Heaven's Gates Cherry Farm is off and running. So I was trying to find a place that would fit and where it would look good at the road. So I was kind of walking around the snow there trying to figure out what I was going to do with it, where I was going to put the sign. As you glance around there, like I said, all them trees are gone now because we got the high tunnel up, but there's all the trees we had to remove. We had to do a lot of things this spring and summer and fall to get where we're at. It was a lot of work. And we tried to figure out what kind of hats and what kind of shirts. We had a few hats and shirts that we were going to sell. But we gave a lot of them away. We sold a few of them. We gave 2 of them, or some of them to some of our cherry lovers out there. There was the design of the shirts, and they turned out great. I think we're going to order some more. And there's the card. My son, he's the one that made them. And we're trying to figure out our sign now. Laid it out on the ground. It was touch and go. We didn't know what we were going to do and how we were going to lay it out, but we finally decided on the way it would look and everything. That's not the way the sign looks. We changed things around a little bit, but not much. For the most part, that's what the sign looks like. We changed the established. Of course, there's Joyce and Amari showing you guys our Heaven's Gates Cherry Farm hats and shirts and how they look. And Joyce was trying to get her to come out of her shell a little bit. Anyways, that's that. Now we're back into April, and it's time. I've decided it's time for me to start making these signs. So I said, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We changed it. Put the cherry farm up between the cherries, put the established down 2012. Joyce said it would look better that way, and I agreed with her, so we switched it, and it turned out really, really good. So that's the design we decided we were going to try, and I was going to give it a go. So I said, well, let's try this. So I took it downstairs, and I went and bought the lumber, and I said, well, I'm going to see how it turns out. I'm not going to guarantee anything, but if it doesn't turn out, we'll have to buy a sign. Well, the next few videos here will tell you all. So that's what we're going to do right there. That's the sign. So anyway, that's what we got going on there, and hopefully there's the boards after I cut the stencils out, put them on the board. You see that it's square. I didn't know if I wanted it square or the way Joyce is hanging on to it right now. But that's the way we decided to do it. And yep, that said, I told myself it's time. I'm going to do it just like this. I'm going to draw them out, and then I'm going to hand paint them. So I got started. It took a while. It was hard work. It took a while to do that, but that's what we decided on, and it turned out wonderful. Like I said, in the next videos, you guys will get to see it all. That's me when I first painted the first sign. It turned out, and I was sitting there, well, it was 11 o'clock at night. I was down there. I would say it took me probably 4 good days of hand painting and taking my time, because it was, I don't know what the word you'd call it, but it was very tedious would be the word, and you had to take your time on it. So that's what I did when I was down there. I didn't want it to look like junk. So I really took my time on it. It turned out. It really did. That's what I did all the time. So, and then, like I said, there's the first finish coat, and there's the polyurethane that I put on it. We put about 3 coats of polyurethane on that before I took it out to the farm, and on both sides. And as you can see, it just turned out fabulous. It was amazing how it turned out. I was very, very, very happy with it. First, I was a little skeptical. I was happy with it. So there it is on the back of the truck. I bought some posts, and I told the wife I was going up to put it in the ground. I didn't know if the frost was going to be out of the ground, but when I got up there was some frost. But I took that thing, and I was very, very happy. We were all happy with that sign the way it turned out. So we loaded it up, and we headed north. There it is on the porch, waiting on my brother to come, and he was going to help me screw it and glue it and put it in the ground. So that's what we did. We put the screws and everything, and I told he wanted to know if we wanted to varnish the poles, and I told him I didn't know if I wanted to do that or not. So we just put it together, and then we carried it out there, and we put it in the hole, and that's where it is today. And as you can see, there's where it's at. It turned out fabulous. A few people asked me who built the sign up there, and I told them I did it. They thought a professional sign company, and I'm not tooting my own horn. That thing turned out. It was really turned out amazing. I was proud of it. You look at that. My brother's coming up there. He told me to put some lights out. I told him I didn't know if I was going to do it or not. He says, "Go buy you some lights and put out it." So I said, "Well, we'll see." So see in the next video down the ways what I've done. And he said, "I told you." So I said, "Yeah, you're right." So anyways, there's the sign. There's what it looks like. It turned out fabulous. That's all I can say about the sign. It turned out phenomenal, wonderful. I could use all the things you could say, but there's the sign at night. He told me to buy these lights, and they changed colors, and I didn't know how they would look, but anybody that goes by there at night, they'll get to see the sign all lit up, and boy, is it's pretty. It really is. I mean, that sign out to the road more or less started Heaven's Gate Cherry Farm. It told us that we were on our way. We were on our way to start a good thing, and like I said, we've been happy ever since. And here's May. We got there shows a video of the high tunnel. There's my grandson Brandon. He was putting the boards up. We were trying to get that high tunnel up. Boy, were we happy when it come. I thought it was going to take two or 3 weeks. And my son Anthony back there with his friend Micah and me and my brother-in-law Bill. I thought it was going to take 2 weeks. My son Anthony said, "Hey, we're going to get this thing up in 3 days." I didn't believe it, but boy, he went right to work. I let him be the boss, and he did it. He put us right to work, and we got that thing up in 3 days. It was amazing. Of course, I was waiting for this. I mean, it just made us happy. And there it is, come June, and now it's time to put the side curtains on and the side walls, and that's what I was doing there, puttering. It took us most of June to get all that to put on. Me and Joyce, we worked our butts off putting it up because it was warm. It was very warm. June turned out to be very, very, very warm. So there she is. We couldn't get long enough 4x4s untreated because we're going organic, so we couldn't, go with the treated stuff, but so we had to make our own boards. So she said she wanted to do it, so I told her to have at it, and boy, she turned out to be one heck of a carpenter. Man, she made those 4x4s like there was nobody's business. She worked her butt off on them, and she got them done. She did a darn good job. She had to make, 2, 4, 6, she had to make 8 sets of those, and she did it, along with some 2x10s that went across the top for the stringers. So she worked on them, and I got to give her credit. She never tells me I never give her credit. I give her credit. She worked her butt off. She did a darn good job. And as you can see what she did, now those the side curtains and the ends are on. You can see where the garage doors go up. I haven't got them up yet, but all that came on later. But there's all the 2x4s and everything that she put together. And She did a darn good job. And of course, when you're up at the cabin or up at the farm, there's the rules. Boy, do we live by them. There's nothing wrong with living by those rules. It's fun to live by them. And there's two of our kids. There we are. And there we are again. And there is something we were very surprised to see. We had cherries this year. We only had 7. Boy, did we have cherries. They were good. I ate one. Joyce ate the other 6. That's all we had. But I was surprised we even got them. I didn't think we'd have any, and I went out there. I never saw any during putting high thumb. Walked out there one day, and I thought, what am I seeing red on these trees? And I lifted one leaf up, and there it was. And we just kept seeing more and more and more of them. Like I said, a total of 7 of them. And so we're expecting a lot more. Hoping this year we have a lot more, enough to sell. That's our goal. So, but yes, the trees bared fruit last year, and I'm hoping they bear a lot of fruit this year. So we're going to see. But we were very excited. Joyce was really excited. I went in there and told her, and she goes, no way. So out she came, and she was all giggles, and she was very happy to see that we had our first cherries off these trees. So next year should be, like 2019, we should be on our way. I sure hope so. We're trying. So, yep, it's nice to see cherries on the trees like that. Just, like I said, we were amazed to see them there. We didn't expect them. So that was great. Well, now we're looking at July. 4th of July was a miserably hot July. In the high 90s. I had to go buy an air conditioner. We stayed in. I didn't come out till evening. I think one night it was like 90 all night long. We were terrible. So the next day we went over to Idaho Springs and tried to cool off a little bit, watch the waterfalls. Well, we decided to play during July. We had gray safari hat on. It was so hot and the gnats were bothering her. I told her put that on, it shouldn't bother her. Bugs won't get in her hair. But yeah, it was a hot summer. Sometimes the bugs were really, really bad, and other times they weren't. But the day she had that on, they were. And here comes August, and she's out there trying to show everybody all the stuff she did. I never give her enough credit. So she says, I want to go out and do this video, so she went out and did this video. And she was showing everybody how, I showed her how to train the trees, and she went out there and did them. And boy, did she do a great job. So I showed her one time, and she just went right to it. And a professional would say that it was done by, it was great. And there she is doing a shout out to Rick from Old Camp. It says disclaimer. Yeah, he did a shout out for us because I sent him a hat and a shirt, so we decided to do this one, and she's saying disclaimer because that's what he always says on his. Here's Joyce showing us the trees that she trained, and she did a great job. She really, really did. That tree that she's going to show you right there, I showed her how to do it. From there on in, she did every one like a pro. And there she is acknowledging that she helped me paint, because she did. And I have to give her credit because she stayed right there. And matter of fact, she worked harder sometimes on paint than I did. But while we were painting, we had saw that Dan from the back in the sticks, he had that meat there, and he had a recipe, and we decided we were going to try it. And boy, was it good. So if you ever get a check out Back in the Sticks with Dan, trust me, that's a great, great recipe. Well, now here we got back home, and I decided we were going to do corn. So there's the corn we decided to can, and old Tidy was there with us. And he didn't like being filmed, he never does, a lot. And there's the wood that I tried to start downstairs. I got a room for YouTube when we move up there. Joyce wanted a she shack or a room for herself down there, so I'm building that. And while we were there, she said she wanted new window dressing, so we bought blinds for the windows, and I had put them up. So got that done, and I started working on the basement. It's not done, but I'm working on it. I should have it done by sometime this year, but we're getting there. We're one step at a time. We're getting there. It's work, but it's getting there. I was showing everybody what my handiwork. And then when we got home, my daughter had a cute couple spools that she wanted me to make some clocks. So I told her I'll make clocks. So we made the clocks. And they turned out great. She took hers home, and I took mine up, put it on the high top. Oh boy, September's here. They were up there for Labor Day, the people you saw in the picture. We had a great time. And after they left, we went to work, me and Joyce. This shows you what we had, all in that winter flyover, showed all the woods that I had to cut. Well, there's what we were doing. And I was using my brother-in-law's tractor. We had them, oh man, I dragged more logs than you can think of, but it sure did the work. That tractor has a lot of power, and boy, could it drag logs. While I was dragging logs and moving things, I dug into the ground and hit something that sounded like chains. Well, I dug this grappling hook, as they call it, and it's an old one from a long time ago. I don't know how I got it, but I did. But here's Joyce. Joyce is working fine dental. That woman worked so hard up there when we were clearing the land. She was constantly taking logs, taking twigs, hooking up the logs with the grappling hook. There's the grappling hook. That thing made it work so light. You'd walk up there and hook it onto a log and drag it right back out of the way. I take it back and get rid of it. And that's just minor details. I'm telling you, this thing that tractor would drag root, log, the whole tree. It was amazing. I must say, like Daniel from Arms Family Homestead, that was amazing. I mean, amazing. That tractor pull, I couldn't. It would just pull. That's all I got to say. And then we came home, and Joyce had another recipe that we got from Labor Day. Rick, Luana's boyfriend, he had a great recipe, and he did a good job. And Joyce said, well, let's try this recipe and put it online. So we did. It's phenomenal. It's great. It's wonderful. If you ever want a recipe for your family, that recipe is great. I probably said Rick, but I meant Rob. Sorry, Rob. His recipe was wonderful. I mean, you couldn't ask for it. Me and Joyce ate on that for 2 days. It was so good. So if you guys ever want a really, really, really good recipe, that one is right there. I don't know what it's called. I know it was a bean recipe that we were a bean challenge, and then of course after that I had to go get a tire because I blew a tire out on the tractor, so I had to go buy a tractor tire, which was $130-something. But there's my new tire, and after I put the tire on, we were off and running. So that tractor works like there's no tomorrow. I got to give it credit. That's a wonderful tractor, that Massey Ferguson tractor right there. It works. I mean, it works hard. I put that tractor through its test. It works. Yep. So a lot of work went on in September. A lot of work. We cleared a lot of land out there. And here's Joyce fooling around. If you looked at the one video of me chasing her through the woods at fast speed, like we were supposed to do this and make it look like the old-fashioned movies too, where she was going to push on that tree, I was going to cut it, and then she was going to push it over, and we were going to speed it up and make it look like one of the old-time movies, and like she pushed that tree over. But I couldn't find the video till right now, that part of the video. So, and of course, then October came, and decided, being indoors, I guess I'm going to have to find something to do. So I'm going to start making cabinets for the cabin up north. So that's what I've been doing. They're not done. I got the rest of the winter to do them, but I'm doing a good job. So, and there we are. That's all we did this fall up there. We went around and saw the trees. They were beautiful. This fall was pretty, very pretty. The colors were perfect. So we spent most of the day doing the color tour, as we call it, and it really turned out nice. October was a very mild, not real cold, but everything. It was a normal fall, normal October. It was very nice. It was very fun to go around and take pictures of the different trees. And as you say, this is Michigan in October. This is a very pretty time of the year. Of course, November comes around and we found these things in October, these two little figurines, and Joy says she wanted them up there, so I named them Mr. and Mrs. Cherry Lover. So there they are up there by the high tunnel, and they got to see everything that goes on up there, and they keep everything in line. And of course, there's my drone that I bought for $60. Of course, I'll get to tell you a whole story about that. That's all that I got left. I don't have that drone anymore. I put it down right there, and the last time I saw it when it took off that way to the northeast. That's 400,000 acres that way. And do you think that I'm going to find that? No. It went up and out of there. It was gone. So the only thing I had left was the controller. And after about 2 weeks or so, I threw it away. Yep, that's what went on with that anyway. So I was just standing there, as my mother used to say, with the cotton mouth, my mouth wide open, and that thing kept on going. So that controller went in the trash. If you're going to buy a drone, make sure you buy a drone that returns. If you don't buy a drone that returns, it'll do just like mine did. It'll keep right on going. Yep. So anyways, that's what went on for the most part of November, and that's the high tunnel sitting there nice and quiet. There's my buddy Bill Teach Out. We call him Spanky. It was his time. It was his job to cook breakfast, so that's what he did. Chris Seifner. I'm sorry I couldn't find the other video of you. I looked and looked and looked. I don't know where it's at, but that's the other guy that was up hunting with us. Sorry I don't have the video. Day after opening day, there's what you see. We had probably close to 4 to 5 inches of snow, not right there, but after it snowed and everything stood. And that's the first time that we've had snow at deer hunt in a very, very long time. We don't normally have it. It was very, very, very cold. Usually have mild weather. You might see rain, maybe a little snow, but not as cold as it was. It was like down around 9. It was cold. Very, very cold for deer hunt. So, yes, it was. But we had a real, real good time up there deer hunt. Everything kind of went to sleep, as you can see. Very quiet, very peaceful, stuff like that kind of stuff. Very peaceful. That's what went on for November. Everything is dormant. Trees are quiet. Trees are nothing going on. And this is called the white, I think it's called the white chicken chili recipe. Anyways, it's very, very, very good. Joyce, I don't know where she got the recipe from, but I'm telling you what, it is very good. Very spicy. Of course, we got it wasn't the mild, we got the semi-medium or whatever, and it was very spicy for me. If you like spicy food, then you'd love it, but that stuff is spicy, so next time we make it, it'll be with mild salsa. It's very, very good. Very good. Well, now we're into December, and of course, you know what goes on in December. Before Christmas got here, we tried other things. Me and the wife, we decided we were going to go up and spend a weekend by ourselves and go do some things. So that's what we did. We went up to the farm. we relax, and of course that's her sitting there. I talked her into going out of the house and go to breakfast. So she was game for that, and off we went. We went to breakfast, went to Big Bob's in town, and she had that breakfast there, and I had all-you-could-eat breakfast bar, and we ate like pigs, and we were having a good old time up there. We enjoyed ourselves before Christmas holiday, and we did our thing, and oh, we had a good time. We just farted around. Just had a good time up there. And then that's us coming back home from town for breakfast, and I had a few chores to do, so I did the chores and everything, and after we got everything done and rested a while and everything, yeah, came back to the farm, and it was a pretty day. The sun finally came out, and I see down the road there that guy was walking, and man, it was cold. We went to Lumpton's to Sunrise Cafe, and we had a good dinner, very good dinner there. And Joyce didn't think I was going to go and fart around with Santa Bear there, but I showed her different. I went over there and farted around, and I said, well, I'm going to get in there, and he's going to give me a hug. So that's what I did. I crawled in there, and he gave me a hug. So, and I thought it was funny. She didn't think I'd do it. There's Untitled. That was the day before Christmas. He doesn't like to be on the camera. It's weird, kind of. The dog does not like to be filmed because, I don't know. I gave him them 3 cookies, and he usually eats them right up. But you know, you just watch him. He doesn't want to look at the camera, and when you're filming, he wants nothing to do with it for some reason. But that's Joyce's. That's Ashley's dog. My daughter's. And Titan, he's good old Siberian Husky, but he's got his temper, and he's not mean or nothing. He just, I don't know how to explain it. He's got his own mind. He's a nice old dog. Well, then Christmas come, there's Santa Claus. We had everybody over. We had a wonderful time, and we enjoyed ourselves. There's the Christmas tree, and like I said, Christmas means that it's the end of the year, and now we're looking for the next. So, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's to you, and we'll see you in 2019, because that's where we're heading, and we'll see what 2019 brings Heaven's Gates Cherry Farm. So, as always, I always say, you guys have a good day. I intend to.